A gentlelady from Washington, Ms. Perez, is recognized for the purpose of an amendment.
Chair, I live in a rural part of the country. Some of you know
Would the
I
gentlelady like her amendment read?
ask unanimous consent. Actually, let's go ahead and read the amendment, please.
Gentlelady would like her amendment read. Give us just a moment.
An amendment offered by Ms. Perez at the appropriate place in the report insert. Headlight brightness. The committee urges the Secretary of Transportation to report to Congress on what gaps may exist related to the impact of the brightness of low beam headlamps on the vision and safety of drivers, pedestrians, and other road users, including the effect of varied terrain, including hills and curves.
The gentlelady is recognized to explain her amendment.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know how many of you drive and how often, but I will tell you there is a plague in this country of headlight brightness. It is shockingly bright. If you look back to halogen light bulbs, you're reaching somewhere around 700 to 1200 lumens. New LED technology, these sons of bitches get to like 12,000 lumens. It is not a binary choice between walking around in the dark and the fire of 1,000 suns. And the standards on this have not been reformed since before I was born. This is the only place I would be considered maybe young on the Hill, but it is a real problem. A third of Americans have nystagmatism. This is a serious risk to safety, driving, to pedestrians in particular, where you're not able to see, your eyes can't dilate quickly enough to respond to a challenge in the road or to anything. If you're on curves, if you're on roads, I am sure you have all seen this. And the thing is, everybody thinks it's just them. They just think it's their problem, but this is actually a systemic thing that has been failed to be addressed in a realistic, fulsome, real-world design, accounting for the hills and the terrains and the curves, not a lab in a closet somewhere, but how it's actually experienced by drivers. I spoke at a transportation member day hearing, and it was insane. It blew up online. It is so encouraging to hear what I've heard from my community be affirmed by so many of our constituents and Americans broadly, that this is something that is a real lived experience of deterioration in life. And I think that we've seen this increase in polarization. You've got 8% on one side and 8% on the other side that are they watch CNN or they watch Fox News a lot. This is an opportunity to demonstrate that politics is relevant and useful to the lived experience of ordinary Americans. That this is not just something for a PhD in navel gazing, but it's a lived experience. We are out there driving the same cars, the same experiences, we're seeing the same things. This is something that, until we are demonstrating that this body is living the same reality, that we are hearing and responding. And I will also say, this is not a partisan by any means. Thank you, Mr. Alford, for clapping. I appreciate you. I'll give you your $20 later. But it is. This is not I would not call this a pro-regulatory environment nationally. And this is something where people are saying, do something, be useful, be responsive to our experience. So my amendment is asking them to give us more information on this, to create a more fulsome valuation. There's a known reality that some of the manufacturers of these aftermarkets, that because the scale is graded in points of brightness and not overall brightness, some manufacturers have even gone so far as to create dimmer cells in some parts of the headlights so that they can have an overall higher brightness. So really looking at the overall lumens. There's a lot of conflating issues here, how Kelvin, how blue the tone of the light is. The human eye perceives blue as brighter, but you can be, amber, Kelvin, whatever it is. If it's 12,000 lumens, it's too much. And so, there's been some work on adaptive beams. It's still not reaching where we need to go. It's not providing the safety. Cars are getting safer, but pedestrian deaths are going up. Automotive accident deaths they're holding stable. And this is something that I feel passionately about, and I appreciate your indulgence in listening to me. I would sincerely appreciate and urge your support for our body to demonstrate. If we can't fix the small things, if we can't exercise the muscle memory of bipartisanship, he who is faithful in a small thing is faithful in a great thing also. And so to pursue, utility to ordinary Americans, to keep that muscle of bipartisanship alive and building things, I urge and humbly ask for your support in this.
Thank the gentlelady. The gentleman from Arkansas, Mr. Womack, is recognized to respond to the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in support of the amendment. Again, don't get used to this. Personally, I'm not an expert on this issue, but we've all seen it, and it can cause some safety problems. And frankly, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to ask the Department of Transportation to shed a little light on this subject for us. So I'll stop there and yield back. I do recommend a yes vote. We'll take the report, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized to respond to the amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to join Chairman Womack and offer a $10 support for this amendment, and I thank him so much for his support. The gentlelady and I have had a discussion about this issue, and I noticed that she's spoken with others, and I think that it will be good for us to work together. I'll work with the chairman, other colleagues, because as someone who has several pair of glasses, none of which work, I do understand this issue, and am pleased that she's bringing the issue forward for us to study. And I'll yield back.
I thank the gentleman. The gentleman from Nevada is recognized to address the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Subcommittee Chairman. On behalf of people with old eyes throughout the nation, I want to express my unqualified support for the idea from my colleague from Washington State and to return this to the proper lane in terms of an Appropriations Committee markup discussion. Anybody who includes in her presentation referring to the people that own these offending headlights as sons of bitches has my vote.
Are there other members wishing to address the amendment? Okay. If there is no further debate, the gentlelady from Washington is recognized for 1 minute to close.
So pleased. I'm so appreciative and grateful for the support. This is a real quality of life and safety issue, and I'm so encouraged to be able to move something positive forward. Thank you very much to the ranking member and chair, subcommittee chair, and thank you very much.
Thank the gentlelady. The question is now on the amendment offered by the gentlelady from Washington. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted.